Hey guys, we're back. Let's talk about paragraphs. So what I'm going to do is the same as the last one with the color coding and stuff like that. Remember, you don't have to do the color coding if it doesn't suit you. If it helps your brain work better with the content, then do it, but it's no stress either way. Okay, so let's zoom in. There we go. All right. So we are looking at, we've done the introduction where we've done iTask, and you've done it for the Stickies article, hopefully. And then what we're going to do is move on to arguments. So each argument gets its own paragraph. That's really important that you structure this through argument. And your topic sentence basically outlines the argument, and then the body of the paragraph analyzes the persuasive pulls. So we've done introduction, So like I said, the body has one paragraph per argument. If you've got 2 arguments, then you have 2 paragraphs. If you have 3 arguments, 3 paragraphs. If you have 10 arguments, then you have 10 paragraphs. But I would never give you one like that because I'm not that mean. All right, topic sentences to start off. Basically, your topic sentence for this area of study outlines the argument. Okay, so for example, if your first argument that dogs are better than cats is that dogs are very loyal, then you would start with something like, Richardson's article initially argues that dogs are better than cats because dogs are very loyal. Or you could say something like, the argument that dogs are more loyal than cats is then presented. Or Coyle then expresses that dogs are better than cats because dogs are more loyal. Or Smith rebuts the claim that cats are better than dogs by saying that dogs are more loyal. Okay? So for my example paragraph, so the one on the toxic dump, I've got here. So MacArthur begins by arguing that the toxic dump in Werribee is a terrible decision due to the diabolical effect it will have on Victoria as a food source. So that is the first argument that is presented by MacArthur. Sorry, I'll just get rid of this. Get rid of my emails. There we go. So that's my topic sentence. Pretty straightforward. Okay. Then what we move into is the guts of the paragraph, what I like to call the guts of the paragraph. And that is where you, after your topic sentence, you start analysing the persuasive pulls. I would recommend 2 persuasive pulls per paragraph, if you can get that done. If you can't, I suppose you'll only be able to do 1, but you better do it justice. I would recommend 2. Your analysis of each persuasive pull should include the following information. Okay, now try and switch up the order a little bit to kind of avoid it sounding very monotonous and like going through the motions. So you give the quote, pretty easy, you quote it, and then you do what I refer to as the 2 questions, which are 1, what does it attempt to make the reader think and feel? And 2, how does that thought or feeling make me more likely to agree with their argument and contention? Okay, so let's go through those again. What does it attempt to make the reader think or feel? And then, how does it make us more likely to agree with their argument or contention? Okay, I'm going to make that pink. And then I'm going to make the quote, what colour? Red? No. Let's do something more interesting. Purple. Ta-da! Okay. So, let's have a look at my example. The article states, so I've got my topic sentence. Now I'm going into my quoting it. The article states that it will have a catastrophic result that will end in food contamination. So that, ladies and gents, is my quote. Okay, now I've set up my quote a little bit with a bit of kind of like padding so that it makes sense in a sentence. I don't just kind of put the quote there. I make sure that it still flows, it still sounds nice. Remember, we're still writing an essay. So what I've done is what we call quote embedding. So instead of just kind of dumping the quote there, I've taken the things that are important in the quote, the phrase catastrophic result and the phrase food contamination, and put those in quotes, and then I've used my own words for the rest of it. Okay, so that is the quote. Then what I'm going to be doing is my what does it attempt to make the reader think or feel? So this is my analysis stuff, the stuff that gets the points. These fear-laden words, as in contamination and catastrophic results, these fear-laden words attempt to make Victorians, the main readership, feel a sense of anxiety of the potential effect that a dump site could have on their and their families' health. There is my question 1. But because I'm fancy, I go a little bit further. Because, you know, if I have more information, if I understand more, then I should obviously put it in. The words catastrophic result implies that if the toxic dump were installed in Werribee, not only would it have terrible consequences, but that these would be inevitable, because obviously result means like it's going to happen, due to the implication of the word result. Okay, so that is still my question 1. It's important to give as much depth as you can and be as specific as possible with your question 1 and question 2. Because like I said, that is where you get your points from. It's not from giving a quote, because like any monkey can do that. It's not even really from writing the intro, although it's like, I mean, it's good to have a good intro, but really the points come from this. Okay, so it's important that you put as much detail and emphasis in this as possible. Be as specific as possible. See how I could have just stopped at that first sentence, but me going that little bit further, explaining how each word has an effect, is really much more effective and gives much more detail. Okay, and now I do my question 2, which, if you didn't remember it, it is, how does that thought or feeling make me more likely to agree with their argument and contention? So, it is these intense feelings of fear that tries to drive a reader to feel that such a dump site would be too hazardous to the public health to risk, and thus would want to prevent the installation of such a site, prevent the installation of such a site. I don't need that to be stopped, do I? That's just repeating myself. There we go. Perfect. So that is my question 2. So that goes in pink. Oh, look how pretty it looks. Oh. Cool. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. So what I want you to do is I want you to take, again, the Stickies article that we looked at last week. I want you to take the last week is in my last lesson. I want you to take the Stickies article and I want you to see if you can write your own version of a analysis paragraph with the first argument in the Stickies article. So yeah, okay. On your marks, get set.